Hey guys, doing Yu-Gi-Oh! Q&A number 10 today, where you guys ask me questions and I do my best to try to help you guys out and answer things and all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to get right into it. First off, the Money Team Angel asked me about how he can stop Exciton Knight. It's this is a card that a lot of people are going to have trouble finding ways to beat because Exciton Knight is a quick effect. So there's not really much you can do. The only way you can really deal with it on your opponent's summoning of it is to chain effect Veiler and hope they'll kind of be stalled from doing it. But eventually they'll be able to use it anyway. This card is meant to counter decks that use a lot of cards, so it's out there and there aren't really many things you could do about it, other than having a solemn warning for it, or things like that. Activating a lot of traps and stuff just isn't very helpful. You just kind of have to deal with it. You just have to think about that card when you have a deck that uses a lot of cards on the field and gains a lot of advantage. So that's why they added this card to the game. They wanted decks with maybe less power, maybe less advantage to have sort of more of a trump card that they can use eventually. But it's still very tough. The big thing about it is that you got to really not put yourself out in the field so crazily. You really have to think about your swarming and things like that. So, don't overextend yourself on the field, and that's really how you beat Exciton Knight. It's not trying to beat the card outright. It's trying to beat, the mind game behind the card. So Andres Neva asked me a ruling question about Prisma and diffusion, kind of how that works. He asked me a specific situation, but I want to just address this, from the actual card so people can understand how this works. So diffusion does not, it specifies the cards that you actually use for the fusion. So if you use diffusion, it doesn't matter if they're the wrong cards, it doesn't matter if the cards got their name changed, you bring back the cards that you used. So if you use Prisma, you bring back Prisma. It doesn't, mean you bring back other cards that were named on the fusion card, anything like that. It specifies the exact cards that you used in that fusion. So if those cards are there, those are the cards you use. So in this example, if Prisma becomes Dark Magician, it doesn't matter. You can't summon Dark Magician back. You can summon Prisma back. So that's how that works. The Hunter128 asked me about playing like Kingdom Hearts on an emulator, something like that. I play a lot of games and I play a lot of stuff. I play sometimes on emulators and things like that now that I have a better computer. But, if I did any of that stuff, it would probably be on stream. I might start streaming things eventually, but I'll probably start with Yu-Gi-Oh content if I do that. So who knows what I'll be doing. If you want to check out my channel, I have a ton of Kingdom Hearts videos if you want to see me playing that in very low quality. But that's just stuff down the line. I'm not going to really do other game content and record it unless I'm streaming. So that's a whole bunch of other stuff. So maybe things down the line. Just not really what I'm thinking about right now. And then Ryan Woodward asked me if I play any other card game besides Yu-Gi-Oh. At the moment, not really. The extent to which I follow Yu-Gi-Oh and try to keep up with it and work on deck stuff, it's so much that I cannot put that amount of time and work into another card game, and that's what it would take for me to get interested in one. So I'll play some stuff casually. I play Hearthstone casually, but a lot of the games I play and card games I try don't compare to Yu-Gi-Oh in terms of things I find I find things wrong with them that aren't in Yu-Gi-Oh, and I just keep going back to Yu-Gi-Oh. So it's not really an interest for me to look into other card games, but people bring them up all the time, and I might check out things later down the line again, but for now it's just Yu-Gi-Oh, and that's the only card game I'm really interested in. And finally, Simply Yu-Gi-Oh asked me what I think about the new Genryus, I think it's pronounced, monster type. I'm not sure which pack that's coming out in, but it's coming out, I think, with pendulums. It's basically a new monster type that is, I believe, mostly part of the cosmic dragon archetype or whatever. So when it comes to a monster type, you can't really say much about it because it doesn't mean anything. On its face, it doesn't mean anything. It's just a new writing on the card. The idea behind them, like them being like these phantasmal like dragons and stuff, they look really cool. I like the idea behind the type, but until we know what they can do, there's really not much to say about it. With zombies, we know they come back from the graveyard, and with beasts, they have all this swarming and attack boosting, and it really depends on what they're going to do, with the type. So I don't really know if it's going to be a big deal. They seem to have like some type of relationship with dragons, like you can exchange them for dragons. The only support card I saw added for Genryus was specifically to summon like dragons or Genryus or something like that. So that could be cool. More dragon support, not like they need it, but that could be interesting. If you having two monster types that have a relationship between each other would be really cool. So I would like to see that eventually, if that's part of what they're trying to do with Genryus. But otherwise, I think it's cool. Let's wait and see, what they can do, what the idea behind adding a new type is, and what their support will be. And obviously with more than one archetype, associated with them, let's see what they can do. Because that's when things get interesting, when a type has multiple archetypes within it that have things that are the same, but also things that are different, which that's what makes it really, really fun. So those are all the questions I received this week. Again, if you have a question for me, you could post in the comments below. You can contact me on Twitter. You could ask me stuff about decks. You can ask me about rulings and all kinds of things like that. I really like helping people out with rulings because I know a lot of people don't, necessarily understand some stuff, and a lot of things can be pretty complicated. So I like to be able to help people out. But you can ask me, all kinds of things. You can ask me stuff outside the game, like the Hunter128 asked me on this video. But that's about it for me. I'll answer some more questions next Friday. I'll see you guys later.